Okay, we're recording. I'm sad I didn't record a second earlier.
When I brought up the water sport.
You just referred to her water sport as professional, so
I'm a
B is my
professional.
hero.
I talk about water sport, but it's in a professional setting.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's not. I'm not. Hello.
Hello. Do you guys enjoy us? I
hope
will be
you would.
genuinely surprised.
30-second episode. If you are here, have been on this long journey with us, I would
Do you
hope you
think
enjoyed
it's just us?
Even if it's just us, it's
No,
a fun ride.
I have one mutual that's listened to every episode, so shout out to Jazzy, who I would die for.
Jazzy, I adore you. Thank you so much.
Love you. They're the one that also does the vintage style stuff. That's so good.
Ooh.
Like, Jazzy, your style is fucking top tier. God level.
I love that. I love
Cheers.
that. Yay! So they're probably the only person who's seen the quality of us go from bottom to we're still in the hole, but not as low as before.
If you look at it like a bar graph, we have gone up technically.
We've gone up technically.
It's like when you zoom in on a picture and you just don't look at the rest of it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Just focus on the progress. There's progress. That's all that matters.
Boom. Done. Well, hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. How are you guys? Are you following what we're saying? If so, you get a gold star.
Yeah, because I forgot what we're talking about anyway. So
Me too. B is currently wearing a cool wig. I've got on a sweater that makes me look like a Victorian ghost. Do you see this neckline?
I love it.
You're like a Victorian ghost.
You should have worn like a little like thick ribbon, like right like against it.
I don't own a ribbon, but by God, I'm going to own one.
By the end of this week, I'll have a ribbon for this sweater.
Hyperfixation will kick in. It'll be done. Boom. Well, my friend, how are you this fine Sunday? It is Sunday.
Sunday afternoon today, finally.
We have our little name tags. I'm Mad Mickelson Stan, and we have watermelon. Oh, technically
Watermelon.
Sugar. Like BTS.
No, that's not by BTS.
I said like you put sugar.
Yeah.
There's too many references in there.
I was thinking of Harry Styles, and I thought of my friend Lou, and I was like, I miss them so much.
Cheers to them.
Cheers to Lou. Somewhere on the eastern side of my state, our state of
that's where Jazzy is too.
Somewhere out there in the east.
Our beautiful mutuals are so far away.
So good, so good. Every time I listen to One Direction or Harry Styles, I think of Lou, and I'm like, I miss them.
God, yeah, you and Jazzy get along. Goddamn.
Jazzy, hit me up. Let's be friends.
Hello, do you hear this? Thank you.
The only time I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll talk to someone from this podcast. Yeah, sure, let's do it.
No one else, only Jazzy. Cheers.
I'm like, no one else in my DMs but Jazzy.
Only Jazzy. Cheers. What do you got? What are you drinking today?
Cheers. I have black tea.
Nice.
I melted my whipped cream into it because I put whipped cream and cinnamon in it to make it festive.
Fuck.
Then I added some chocolate liqueur into it. And so it's too strong, so I made 2 cups of tea.
I think we caught it on video where it was kind of spilling. I love that so much.
Yeah, I had this one for a while. And then I had to make another one because it was too strong.
Well, that's with tea. You make it, and then you're like, oh, my tea's too hot. And then you're like, fuck, I forgot my tea. And then your tea's cold. And do you ever get the tea? Not really.
Now I have one that's a little too hot and then one that's perfect temperature.
Boom. Perfect. So you'll be set. Yeah. I've got my nice Smirnoff ice smash. So smash or pass.
Ooh.
The screwdriver one, pretty good. I like this flavor.
That sounds really good. I spent most of this morning like moving furniture and stuff because we're trying to like unload the stuff that we don't want. And so my kitchen and my dining room is full of mugs and plates that we're like, these have been hiding in like 3 or 6 of the rooms that we have.
I believe it.
Storage. There's I think I've shown you like a video where I was like, let me go into like every single room and show you where the mugs are hidden.
It was alarming, but still somehow did not stop me from getting you more mugs. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love
more
mugs.
mugs and cups.
I'm totally fine with that. When I move out of state, I'll just bring all my mugs, and I'm like, I don't need bowls. I've got mugs.
Literally, you will be set.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom. Let's see what happened this week. It's already Sunday. I don't know when that happened. Fuck.
We talked about how we had the interview and how it's been posted now. Yeah, check it out on YouTube.
Guys, we were interviewed by Murder News, and I'm still crying about it because Aurora was so nice.
She was so sweet. I am usually very anxious and nervous, but
I think we were both sweaty and nervous.
I told Kate, I was like, there might be a good chance that I won't even show up. I'm just gonna ghost this interview. I might not be there. And then Kate threatened me, and I was like, okay, I did. Okay, well, I'll try to be there. And then I got into the call first, and I was like, no. I'm like, oh no.
Trying to figure out the lights in here. Oof, yeah, that was my bad.
And I was like, it's fine. And she was so kind, so nice. Sweet, like super welcoming, like first,
so easy to talk to.
It was amazing. Oh. And like they have just a great channel, a great website. I'm just really
guys, check them out. They're the coolest of cools. Mm-hmm. I love their take on things. It feels I'm trying to think how to explain that. Like they'll report police stuff and they're like, oh yeah, no ACAB. I'm like, there's my girls. I love you. There you are. So I appreciate how they do.
I love how real it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Definitely know that it's not just like I'm just reading off of things just because like it's a thing that's been popularized recently. It's like they actually do have a true actual passion for it, and you can tell with like the content that they make with it.
Oh, 100%. Mm-hmm. Man, can you say the same about us? I do get into my stories.
You get very into your stories. I love that. I am here with my ADHD, unmedicated, being all like, I will do my best. Like, the reason why I won't do Ted Bundy yet is because I'm like, I don't want people to judge me yet.
Like, it's okay. You've done Lizzie Borden. We were talking about lesbians for 2 hours. It was great. Loved it.
I love have I told you how, like, my dream is to get, like, 2, like, newborn, like, puppies or kittens, a boy and a girl. And I talk about this, like, as if, like, kids or whatever. And I was going to name them Lizzie and Teddy. And I was all like, oh, that'd be so cute. Because it's Ted Bundy and Lizzie Borden. It's just, you know. And then people are like, what? Why would you do that? I'm like, it's the cutest idea. Like, why wouldn't you do it? Those are cute names.
Those are cute names. I agree.
And so, like, it could just be like, it was just, I like those names. You don't have to know where it came from or how I heard those names before.
Exactly.
I did know a Lizzie growing up, and I dated a Teddy when I was like 13.
So they are completely unrelated names.
Exactly.
If anyone asks.
Exactly. Just don't listen to the first part of this story. It's fine.
It's fine. I'm 99% sure that I only keep in good stuff you say so that if your coworkers ever listen, nothing will go wrong.
They can judge me. They already judge me. It's fine.
Pretty sure.
I'm like, they already judge me and they know way too much about me anyway, so it's fine.
No, this is what we're talking to Aurora about. Is like, at what point is it like, being relatable, and at what point is it oversharing?
Right?
I don't know.
We don't know. But I'm a overshare with all my friends and listeners here, Like, you know my water sports story now. It's happened.
I listened to episode 30. It was hilarious.
I will never forget how I brought that up. And then the next day I was like, oh no. Beautiful. I love it. 10 out of 10.
It's all good. Oh. Well, since we are here, since we are both queer, since we have very unrelated name tags, and I think we both have short stories today.
Yeah. Very short stories.
So we'll see how long this episode is, guys. Don't don't hate us. I don't know if people like the long or the short ones better. I don't know.
I do know that Danny was like, your stories are too long. I tried to listen to episode 1 and I saw how long it was. And I was like, damn, you guys talk too much. And I'm all like, Danny.
That's why they're shorter episodes.
I was like, Danny, of course we talk too much. You've hung out with all of us. Shout out to Danny, wherever you are in Washington. I love you.
But then I have other friends that like, they do like the longer episodes because they want to know about stuff, which I get. I don't know. Guys, let us know because we should do a survey one day. I'll do a survey. We can do that on Twitter or on Instagram. That's a good idea. Yeah. I like this plan. I got you. You got me. Well, my friend, can I tell you I think this like page length is my shortest story yet. It's 5 pages. It's not even 5 pages. Weird, right?
Not even 5 pages?
So this is mostly because I have a kind of legend ghost thing for you. And as I said before with legends, the fun part is you got to take like 15 different ones and try and like get a cohesive story together. Otherwise, nothing makes sense.
Yeah. I'm like, my lighting made me look like a ghost.
Finally. One of us is a ghost.
I'm just disappearing in the
Oh my god.
I'm like, how is this? What is happening here? How do I fix this? We will never know. We'll never know. I'm disappearing.
You're a Rachel right now. An angel before my eyes.
One day we'll figure out this lighting situation.
I get you. I'm so jealous of the podcast that like have like their own little rooms, their little podcast rooms. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
I'm like, I could probably do that if I switched rooms. Get 2 rooms instead of the master. No, I wouldn't be able to do it. She wouldn't give it to me.
I know, buddy. It's okay. Yeah, guys. If the noise on my end is a little echoey, I'm sorry. There's currently a party inside my house, so it's not a party, a family get-together, but my family is loud. So I'm out in my dad's man shed garage work area. So that's...
But the quality and how you look right now, it's the lighting amazing.
The lighting is nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, my friend. Are you ready to hear a story?
Where's this legend from?
So, guys, okay, this is...
I love how your video shakes when you knock.
Oh, fuck.
We're just...
Everything's fine. We've been doing this for...
almost a year.
Technically, yeah.
We've been doing this technically over a year.
Dude, our anniversary's like next month.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. And I was going to mention something later off recording.
Can we have like a little party? We'll bring cake.
Yeah, because we're also going to be celebrating. We're celebrating Jen's birthday soon with sushi. Because,
fuck yeah!
Jen is a Sagittarius, born December 4th, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm a dad stan.
He and Alex, my girlfriend, they like BTS, and so for every birthday we celebrate. I don't quite know what's going on, but I'm glad to hang out with friends and get food.
They're like, I'm here to have a good time, and we're like, yeah. I'm like, I always forget. I'm always like, Jen is either the 4th of December or
December 4th.
His birthday is December 4th, so we're going to get sushi for his birthday.
Fuck yeah.
And then closer to our actual anniversary is Kim Taehyung's birthday, which is on December 30th. And we started publishing our podcast on December 25th.
It was actually 26th.
26th? Okay.
No, it was Christmas.
Was Christmas.
Was it Christmas?
I thought it was Christmas.
Oh, you're right. Because I remember Christmas Eve, my family was playing Monopoly, and I was, like, uploading stuff. That's right. I do remember this.
I was like, oh. Do I have to edit that out?
Guys, we know what we're doing.
I remembered a thing.
That is true. Super fast side note. What do you want for Christmas? I need to know, like, now.
BTS.
What BTS do you not have?
I have a lot of not BTS. I don't know. I don't know what I want. Another plant?
Another plant? Okay.
Actually, no, don't do that because I'm probably going to what's that fucking word? Pomegranate? Not pomegranate. Propagate.
This is planetarium penitentiary all over again.
I'm going to propagate Pamela one day because look how beautiful she is up there.
I love her.
She is amazing. She is she's love of my life, truly. I'm going to marry this plant. Like, truly. Like, I look at her and she gives me serotonin and oxygen. It's amazing. I love her. Once winter is over, I'm going to propagate her so I can, like, give friends little bits of Pamela because she brings me so much joy.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And then maybe also Ivy here. Ivy. I see some like little growth on her, and so I might propagate her too for some of my friends who also want to have plants, but they're like, I don't know what to start with. All mine die, and I'm like, let me give you some of Ivy. She is so good. She is so good.
That's just like straight up so cute. Oh, what if I make you like a cute planter or something?
Please get me a planter or like a watering can, like a cute little white, like, I don't know.
I'm on this. Because
I have a small watering can, but like it's just like spills too much on one side, and I'm like, I can't evenly water. Anyways, that's my little problem with plants. What do you want for Christmas? If you have to like put me on blast like that on the podcast, what do you want for Christmas?
Let's see. I think pretty high on my list was a Snuggie, actually.
Ooh.
Right?
What if we get matching Snuggies? Like I get you like a cheetah print one. I get myself like a zebra print one because like I don't know if you ever noticed how you're very much into like the cheetah print stuff.
Oh,
so much of my stuff is zebra print, and I'm like, how did mine turn into like the black and white zebra print, like MILF look?
Oh, my tongue's yellow. Good. That's what's in this?
Is it like orange liqueur instead of orange juice?
It doesn't tell me what the fuck.
You know what? A screwdriver has orange juice and vodka, and like it's just trying to do its thing.
Normally, orange juice doesn't stain your tongue, though. I don't think.
It might be like the Tampico orange juice or like a Sunny D kind of variation of orange juice. Not like actual real Florida orange juice, you know? Something that's a little bit more chemically so it can like survive the shelf life a lot longer.
That is a good point.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just like BSing shit right now.
G-print and Z-print. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah!
Before I took us way off topic.
I literally asked you, like, what's the story about? And then we went off on another tangent.
You guys love the ADHD podcast, right?
It's
You're welcome.
Yeah!
Boosh. This is truly a Jazzy-centric episode. Because they live in the Chicago area. This takes place in Chicago.
Ooh.
So, Jazzy, this episode is dedicated to you because you are very good.
Yeah.
Cheers. Whoop.
Yeah, let's drink to that.
Okay, so have you ever heard of a ghost called Resurrection Mary?
Nope.
So
who the fuck is she?
You're gonna find out. So you've probably heard of like the variations of this, of like paranormal hitchhikers, basically.
Like my boyfriend, Charlie.
Like your boyfriend, Charlie, exactly.
Who came from Chicago.
Everything ties together. We are our own universe. Boom.
We have our own universe.
Yes. Decided it now.
Like, screw you, MCU. It's over. Like,
it's
Tipsy about us
now.
Have we talked about that? How you had that hitchhiker ghost looking for a girlfriend?
Hunting, and then we got back to my house, and my mom's like, I think y'all brought something back. And so we were talking to him, to the ghost. Turns out his name's Charlie from Chicago, was on his way to Utah to see a girlfriend. Got in a car accident with a train. Weird stuff. He liked Ruby more because I asked him, I'm like, which cat do you like more? He's like, Ruby because she's funny. I'm like, fair. So that was V's.
That was my boyfriend because I remember hanging out with Kate and I was like, she's like, hey, you're single. Like, are you like, I kind of have someone like that I would want to set you up with. I'm like, okay, are they dead? Are they like a ghost? And then she's like, well, actually,
I think Alex is also there because we were both stumbling.
Yeah. I remember we were at like a Denny's or an IHOP or something. It was like it
was dark.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember like we were in a diner kind of place. I remember the bench.
Yeah.
I was sitting by myself looking at you and Alex stumbling over that after I said that. And I was like, yeah, I'll date Charlie. And then he went away.
Listen, stuff passes through our house all the time. It's like, oh, you guys are actually really boring. I'm like, yeah, go away. Thank you, please. Anyway.
It happens.
Anyways, I'm going to tell you about Resurrection Mary.
Yeah.
So as I said, kind of like a legend where there's like 15 different variations. I tried my best to kind of narrow it down in a way that would make the most sense.
Yeah.
And so basically I'm going to tell you about it, and then you're going to hear about some more instances where people have encountered her, and then who she could possibly be.
Yeah.
So.
My future girlfriend.
Your future girlfriend. First Lizzie, now Resurrection Mary.
Yeah.
Ladies, line up. So.
Like, join me at the Cult of Lesbians at downtown.
Cult of Lesbians, Cult of Lesbians. One day I'll get that goddamn picture. Fucking painting.
If you haven't listened to the McCoon Mansion episode.
Episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, listen to that one. That one is fun. All right. So, Resurrection Mary. She is a well-known Chicago area ghost story, and this is about a famous vanishing hitchhiker, as we said.
Mm-hmm.
The urban legend is based outside of Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois, just a few miles southwest of Chicago. Okay. Resurrection Mary is considered to be Chicago's most famous ghost story. Though I have never been and I'm not from, so I cannot confirm this. Jazzy, let me know.
So, me, I'll just text everyone I know in Chicago. I'll be like, have you heard of her?
Have you heard of her? Please tell me.
Please tell me where I can meet her. I'll bring some flowers.
I'll serenade her. We'll serenade her. There we go.
Yeah. We'll take your dad's guitar.
Oh, there we go. Boom. Oh, you can see in the background. Yeah. Resurrection Mary, we are coming for you.
Yeah.
With smooches.
Yeah.
Right. So, since the 1930s, several men driving northeast along Archer Avenue between the Willowbrook Ballroom and Resurrection Cemetery have reported picking up a young female hitchhiker. This young woman is dressed somewhat formally in a white party dress and is said to have light blonde hair and blue eyes. There are other reports that she wears a thin shawl, dancing shoes, and maybe carries around a small clutch or purse, but usually she's just very quiet. So when they pick her up, they'll be driving. When the driver nears the Resurrection Cemetery, the young woman asks to be let out, whereon words don't work.
Words don't work.
The young woman asks to be let out. When she then gets out, she disappears into the cemetery. So one of the most famous accounts comes from an old South Sider named Jerry Paulus, and he told his Resurrection Mary story to a paranormal investigator group in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And this happened to him back in 1939. So this is an old ghost.
Oh, yeah.
Old ghost. So keep in mind, so back in the late 20s to mid 40s, I believe, there was dance halls. Yeah. It was like very big. You'd go, you get dressed up. Usually you'd go to like meet some people and you just dance.
Meet
and
some
it was a
soldiers.
Exactly. Just a little hopsock. There we go. Yeah, jitterbug. So those were really common, and that's just kind of like the precursor. So back in 1939, so our boy Jerry, before he went out dancing that evening, he put on his favorite suit, a double-breasted gray number with squared-off shoulders, and his most colorful tie. He cruised Archer Avenue with the top down of his Chevy Cabriolet, his Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
The night was warm, and he'd slicked back his hair enough to keep the wind from mussing it up. The O. Henry Ballroom was going to be jumping, as it always was on Saturdays. Lit, as the kids say. I don't know if they say that anymore. Ignore me. So inside the ballroom, Jerry spent the first half hour drowning a few drinks and smoking enough Lucky Strikes to work up the courage to ask a girl for a dance.
As we all do.
Because it's 1939.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the band got started playing some upbeat songs, he was in a bold state of mind.
Ooh.
Spotting, this is like the equivalent of when you're a drunk girl and you go to the bathroom. There's other drunk girls. Instant camaraderie.
Oh, man.
I love those friendships.
Cheers. Have I told you about the time when at 4th of July went bar hopping?
Is it a bar? Yeah!
My friends, God bless their souls, they were like, you always babysit us. We're going to get you fucking wasted. I'm like, don't get me fucking wasted. I worked 8-hour shift, didn't eat during my shift. They gave me a handful of French fries. I'm like, let's go to the bar. And I'm like, this is not enough to eat. I had like, I want to say at least like 3 AMFs, so many shots of tequila. Like I stole my friend's shots of tequila.
That's right. I remember you telling me that part.
Like she's like, you're cut off. And I'm like, look over there. Just stole her drink, like her shot, like right underneath her nose.
You're little. You can do it. You can get away with it. Sneaky.
The 4th bar, I was puking in the ashtray on the 2nd floor and like down like against the rail like of the balcony on the 2nd floor. And I was like, oh, gotta watch out for those people walking. And I was on the bathroom floor just flashing people because I had like my nipples pierced and my friend's like, stop that, like get off the floor. And I'm like, I gotta show off what you paid for because I didn't pay for my piercing like my friend did.
I remember this.
And there's just a lady just trying to wash her hands. I'm underneath the sink topless and she's like, oh geez, as she's just trying to wash her hands and get out of the bar. And I'm like, I just gotta show everyone what I got.
Guys, he is my hero now and forever.
I am a mess.
Always.
I am a hot mess when I drink. And
cheers.
Why I only drink on this show now.
It's okay. Me too. I forget alcohol exists any other time for whatever reason.
I feel that. Like my goals this year was my New Year resolution was to like tequila more, and
that's when you know you're exciting.
It's been an interesting year. I did need all that tequila I had this year, so
that is true. Now I have a fancy bottle.
It's true. I have a very fancy bottle.
Very fancy bottle. So yeah, our boy Jerry is the equivalent of how you were. Boom. So spotting a pretty blonde girl in a white dress, he said as casually as he could manage, "Hey, it ain't right to stand still for Count Basie. Why don't we cut a rug on this one?" The girl smiled, and they joined the jitterbug crowd on the dance floor. The band played a few more fast numbers, so Jerry didn't get a chance to talk to his partner. But they were having so much fun dancing, so he didn't mind. When the band began playing some more slow songs, Jerry was finally able to get close to his partner. Her name was Mary, and she lived, she said, on Damien Avenue in the Brighton Park neighborhood.
Aww.
That wasn't far from where Jerry lived, in the house he shared with his parents. As they slow danced, he noticed for the first time that the girl's hands were cold and her skin was brittle. Like me. So cold all the time. Mary seemed to notice it. Mary seemed to notice that he noticed it. So he made what he hoped was a lighthearted remark. He said, "Cold hands mean you have a warm heart."
Aww.
I need someone to say that to me.
Cold hands mean that you have a warm heart, Kate.
Thank you. My little corpse fingers. So apparently Mary smiled and they danced together for the rest of the evening. So after the final number, Jerry offered Mary a ride home. Her place was just a straight shot up Archer. But after they had driven north for a few miles, Mary insisted that he pull the car over outside the locked gates of Resurrection Cemetery, the graveyard of Chicago's Polish community. Jerry was baffled, but he complied. He's like, oh, okay.
Whatever your heart desires, my dear.
My love. So pretty. It was then that Mary opened the door and stepped out onto the roadside. She said, I have to go and you can't follow me. Then she walked towards the gate, laid a hand on the iron chain that bound the gates together, and vanished. Jerry spent... Yeah.
How I wish to be that person, to be Jerry in that moment. Ugh.
To be that level of ghosted.
My heart. What I do to just have a wonderful night with a ghost, to watch them vanish. And just to have that memory for the rest of my life.
Don't you do that with everyone else? Shh. So Jerry spent the rest of the night driving his Chevy up and down Archer Avenue, looking for the blonde girl in the white dress. He's like, the fuck happened?
As one does.
As one does. So he actually drove until dawn. And then when the cemetery gates opened, he drove through the rows of tombstones engraved with the crosses and angels. He was compelled to keep searching with the hope that the girl he had danced with was not a ghost and that he could dance with her again sometime in a future night. So you know when you simping real hard. You're like, I hope
it's gonna be me.
We'll find you, Resurrection Mary.
Yeah.
So catching no sight of Mary, he decided finally to drive to the address she had given him before they got into his car. Because remember, she's like, my address is this. He's like, cool. So it was a brick bungalow on a street, nearly identical houses separated by concrete gangways and a few feet wide. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense. It was basically just like a simple brick house and just on a normal looking street.
Yeah.
So Jerry rang the doorbell, and having driven the entire night, he looked rather exhausted. The middle-aged woman who answered the door looked startled by the young caller's dishevelment. She looked even more startled when Jerry asked, "Is Mary home?" The woman responded with, "Mary doesn't live here anymore." She looked old enough and enough like Mary to be her mother. She continued, "Mary died in a car accident 4 years ago. Who are you?" "I knew Mary in high school," Jerry said as he lied. It was the only plausible story for It was the only plausible story for why he had been unaware of her death. And he's like,
I knew her so long ago that I was looking for her.
Knew her in high school.
That's really quick-minded, though. I
right?
like that.
Smart. So the woman responded, "And you didn't know?" Jerry then replied, "I went to college downstate after I graduated, and I just moved back to Chicago." Then, looking past the woman who was still blocking the doorway, Jerry spied a framed photo resting atop a piano in the front room. It was the girl he had danced with the night before, and every youthful face never to age, the face of a ghost. "I'm sorry to be the one to tell you," the woman said. "Mary went out dancing with some boys she worked with, but they never made it home. One of the boys crashed the car, and Mary was thrown through a windshield and died on the way to the hospital."
Oh.
"I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for your loss," Jerry said as he retreated down the steps. "If you want to visit Mary's grave," the woman added, "she's buried in Resurrection Cemetery." So Jerry actually never ended up returning to the O. Henry Ballroom or to Resurrection Cemetery. And he never learned Mary's last name, so he couldn't locate her tombstone.
Oh, sad.
And he was actually so shaken by having danced with a ghost that he never set foot in a dance hall again. But Resurrection Mary, as the girl's ghost came to be known, continued to haunt Archer Avenue.
Ooh.
So when the big band era ended after the war, Mary actually quietly rested for just like a hot minute because the music she had been wanting to dance to, it wasn't heard for a while. And it wasn't until the 70s that her ghost started like being seen again.
Yeah.
Which would make sense because during that time, dance halls, they were kind of shutting down since they weren't as popular.
Mm-hmm.
And then
now there's a new craze.
It's like by the 70s, we had like dance clubs opening up. So kind of transition, which is interesting. So in 1973, Mary is believed to have shown up at least twice in 1 month at a far south side dance club called Harlow's. She was reported to be wearing a dress that looked like a faded wedding gown. You know, I'm gonna go back a few steps. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So with Jerry's story, His is like the most commonly one told. There's also another version, which if you're listening, you may have heard of, where he's like, oh, you're so cold. I'm going to give you my sweater. And she's like, oh, thanks. And when he goes to look for her grave, he ends up finding his sweater folded on the tombstone. Oh. So there's a few different variations of that. Others say, oh, I guess I'll tell you now. The other more common version, besides like seeing her at a dance hall and then taking her home, is actually seeing her on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that later in the 70s and the 80s and 90s, she is reported with a dress that looks like it's fading and that's yellow, which I thought was really interesting. So like over time, it seems like be fading. And so they'll see this girl in this dress walk on the side of the road, usually on a cold night, and she's not shivering. They're like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
So I had to tell you that other things.
That's crazy. But it's interesting that like the dress is fading.
Isn't that weird? I thought that was really interesting. I was like,
interesting. Ooh. Don't know if I've heard of anything like that before.
Spooky, huh?
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to like learn if there's other things like that. So yeah, 1973, she shows up at a dance club called Harlow's. She was reported to be wearing that dress that looks like a faded wedding gown. Mm-hmm. A Harlow's manager described her as having big curls coming down from a high forehead. She was really pale, like she had powdered her face and body. She was dancing alone in a corner and seemed to stand out in the crowds. Yet despite bouncers at the door who carded all guests, no one ever saw her come in or leave. Oh. So imagine you go to a dance club and there's this girl dancing in the corner. She's really pale. No one's talking to her. Would you talk to her?
I would talk to her for sure.
I can see that.
I'm like, a lonely girl, gotta keep her company.
Make sure she's okay. So in that same year, so again 1973, there was a cab driver who came into Chet Melody's Lounge, which is like another kind of bar, across the street from Resurrection Cemetery, to inquire about a young lady who had left without paying her fare. So he gave a lady a ride. He takes her to the destination, Resurrection Cemetery, and then she vanishes. And he's like, she left without paying. Because she vanished. Which made me giggle, because it was really funny.
To be that person with that power.
God, the dream. So you know how I said that she is also seen just like walking along the side of the highway? Or sorry, the side of the road. Mm-hmm. So this is another really common occurrence, and it sounds terrifying. So a lot of these sightings, which happened from like the 70s to even pretty recently now, this involves. So I'm trying to explain this. So these sightings involve cars striking or nearly striking Mary outside of Resurrection Cemetery. Oh. In all of these instances, Mary disappears by the time the motorist exits the car. Oh. So two things can happen. Either you can be driving. Some people have said that Mary will jump out in front of the car and you hear and you feel like you hit somebody. So you're like, oh, fuck. And you get out of the car and nobody's there. You can't
Is there car damage, though?
No, the car's not damaged.
Well, that's good. Like, that's all I care about. It's like, is my car going to be hurt, though?
And then other times people see her and she's I'm trying to think how to explain that. So sometimes they feel the impact, other times they don't. Or Ooh. They'll see body laying down, and then when they go for help, nothing's there. A lot of trauma, a lot of psychological damage.
Trauma, yeah. That's too much.
Imagine you feel like you hit somebody, and then you can't find anybody. So that sounds fun. In 1979, there was a cab driver who picked up a young woman and described her as a blonde who looked 21 tops. After driving her for a bit, he said that a couple miles up Archer there, she jumped with a start like a horse and said, Here. I hit the brakes. I look around and didn't see any kind of house. Where? I said. Then she sticks out her arm and points across the road to my left and says, There. And that's when it happened. I looked to my left at this little shack, and when I turned, she was gone, vanished.
Oh.
And the car door never opened. May the good Lord strike me dead if it never opened.
That is crazy.
So she seems just to be trying to get back to the cemetery, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And so also a court. Why did I choose a legend to do? So kind of according to like the general legend that's told about Mary herself is that apparently after her death, her family buried her in what's called a term grave in Resurrection Cemetery due to their financial circumstances. And what that is, it's basically a rented plot that only holds remains for a quarter century.
Oh.
So by the time the term expired, all of Mary's loved ones had joined her in the cemetery, leaving no one alive to renew it. And so during a renovation, Mary's coffin was removed to an unmarked grave in a remote corner of the cemetery. Shortly after this, one night, so this is in the 70s, so late 70s, a suburban police officer received a report of a woman in a white dress walking through the grounds of Resurrection Cemetery. Someone gets a call. He's like, there's this lady in there. I think she's like locked in there. Maybe you get down here.
Yeah.
So when the police officer gets there, he arrives at the gates. And so imagine a cemetery. Imagine like the iron bars of an iron gate. Are you imagining them?
Yes.
When he arrived, he found 2 bars pried apart with scorch marks where a pair of hands would have gripped them.
No.
That's the picture. It's
so what?
Weird. It's so goddamn weird. It's only in this one spot. Let's see.
Oh my gosh. The lighting in that room is so amazing. Yeah. That is crazy.
So people still don't know how that happened. Like, it's weird if you guys can look up Resurrection Mary, I think cemetery, or just look at photos and you should see it kind of looks like green iron bars and they look clamped and it looks like almost finger indents. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Like beyond. So I don't know if she was just angry about her coffin getting moved, which I
would understand that.
Right? So I guess the following year, a couple driving down Archer Avenue saw a girl wearing the same white dress, and she was lying in the street. The man at the wheel swerved to avoid her, but she disappeared before the tires could make contact. So that's another sighting. She does apparently which I don't know if that's good or bad for us. She apparently, there's only been like a handful of times where she's taken a ride with a man and a woman. I guess she usually avoids women. I know. I'm like, is that because she wants someone to ghost?
We can be ghosted.
Can be ghosted.
I'm like, does it just have to be like someone who identifies as a woman, or is it like just like them passing people that she avoids?
That's a good question.
Like, I can just wear a short wig and
That's
a
true.
binder. I'll be fine. I just want to, I just want to dance.
We just want to make sure that Mary gets home. I just want to dance. So I guess that happened. In the 90s, the owner of the Chet Melody Lounge, that bar, he was pulling out of his driveway when he saw a man running up the road waving desperately. The man said in a stricken voice, "I need to use your phone. I hit a woman back there, but I can't find her body." The owner then asked, "Was she a blonde woman in a white dress?" The man was shocked and asked, "How'd you know?" The owner replied, "That was Resurrection Mary. Don't worry, you didn't hit anyone. You just saw a ghost."
Imagine being that person, just being like, "Oh shit, I'm in shock. I can't believe this happened. I have to find her body. I have to." And then someone's just like, "Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it."
She didn't hit a real body.
She's a really common sighting, and I guess like the bars around there, if you think that you hit somebody, you're going to call someone nearby, and they get enough calls. It's like, hit somebody. It's like,
no, you didn't.
No, you didn't. It's weird. Over the years, several people traveling down Archer Avenue have made distressed phone calls to police claiming that they have discovered a young woman's body on the side of the road, seemingly abandoned after a hit-and-run accident. When the officer reports to the scene, the body seems to vanish. The only sign left behind is a dent in the grass in the shape of a human body.
Don't like that.
Don't like that. So here's the other weird thing. And this kind of goes back to like the legend as well. I'd say the other most common way that Resurrection Mary's story is told is that I'm trying to think of how to word this. It's debated whether she died from a car accident or from a hit and run accident. So the story
that makes sense.
The story that goes with the hit and run accident is that Mary, the same girl, she went to the dance hall with her boyfriend. They got in an argument. It was a winter night. She's like, fuck you, I'm going home. And he was like, okay. So she tries to walk home the few miles and she's in her dress. And because it's either a white dress and it's snowy, it's just like a snowstorm basically, someone ends up hitting her and drives away. So she dies there.
That makes sense with the other sightings though, of like when she tries to like jump in front of a car, like it makes sense that would have been a possibility.
Right? So it's these kind of things that make it pretty difficult to actually pin down who Mary's identity is. Mm-hmm. And so like over the year, people have tried because this is a very famous story. And, you want to find like that one Mary. Who was that one Mary that people are seeing all these years? And so, many people have tried to identify her. And I guess, let's see. Oh, they attempted to pin the ghost identity on a young woman named Mary that was killed in automotive accidents in the late 20s to early 30s. So those are the times they're looking at, given our time frames.
Yeah.
So one theory proposes that the disturbed spirit is Mary Bregovy, who was a 21-year-old woman who was killed in 1934 when the driver of a vehicle she was riding in crashed into a structure on the side of the road. So similar to that story of like she was driving home and then the driver accidentally hit the side of the road. And then some cases again say she like either died there or died on the way to the hospital. Don't really know. Another possibility is that Resurrection Mary is the ghost of Anna Norkus, whose devotion to the Virgin Mary actually led her to adopt the name Maria as her middle name, which is Lutheran for Mary. Mm-hmm. So Norkus was killed in an automobile accident in 1927 on her way home from an evening event at the O. Henry Ballroom. However, Mary Bregovitz, the first one, she was a brunette. And Anna Norkus, she was just shy of 13 years old.
Oof.
So neither of them matched the description of the blonde in her early 20s.
Yeah.
So you think you have a lead, and then it's like, oh, wait,
that
actually.
Yeah.
And I listened to some spooky podcasts on this. So apparently, too, with, I can't remember how they were able to find this out, but apparently with the first Mary, the 21-year-old one, she was buried in like a purple dress, too.
Oh.
So people aren't sure where, like, who, this blonde-haired, blue-eyed gal is. We don't know. So some people are like, okay, maybe it's like a complete hoax. But there's been so many sightings over the years that I think she's a real person. I don't know if it's like multiple different people that people are seeing, if that makes sense.
I wonder if it's kind of the situation of like there is a ghost there, but because of the story's like reiteration so many times, the people will see what they want to see.
Oh, that's an interesting theory.
Like it's very possible there is a spirit, but it's only showing you or like your mind is only being like, I've heard this story so many times. I see the same blonde lady with the curls and the white dress. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It could just also be like a manifestation of like all of those people thinking these things, and then like something else entirely is coming in like apparating in front of people and showing them that.
Do you think it's like demon level or like different?
I don't think it would be demon level because it's not like attacking others more so, other than being very traumatic.
Because
maybe low-key demons. Maybe.
I could see the demon side more for like the version of Mary that like jumps out in front of your car.
That's exactly the only one that I would see that with.
But the other versions where she gets a ride home, she's seeming to try and get back to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
it's like two different, like a ghost and an entity that's trying to like.
Oh, that's a good point.
Copy. I don't know.
Because, and again, this is the problem with Legends, and you can see why this story frustrated me, because there's like so many different ways that people have seen her, and then like different ways like that they end up not seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
So the amount of people that have seen her at dance halls, and which is also weird because so one of them shut down, and so they were seeing her at this other one. I don't know if like that initial legend of her is kind of coming from a mix of things, because that's what it's kind of seeming like.
Yeah. Because legends are going to be retold in different ways and get different variations and reiterations throughout the generations. There's a lot of shins.
Very true.
So who knows?
That would be like the most plausible explanation to me. But there's
demons.
Like demons. And apparently people like try to talk to her, and she doesn't say much. I think there was one guy that noticed she was like really spacey, and this was later on in like I think the 80s. So I'm kind of wondering if over time she's fading, if that makes sense.
Well, if during that time, because she was buried at least 20s or 30s, that, and if it's the one that had a grave that was rented on a rented plot, like after her body has been moved, maybe that did something to the energy in her spirit itself too.
That's a good point.
So who really knows, like, because if that's the same Mary that is going to the dance halls, having her body be moved and stuff might be affecting how aware she is of herself now. Especially if it's like a residual, like if she only has like that residual energy of going to dance halls.
What if like this is another thing, I guess, like you could try and look into it more and be like, okay, what if we like take out the name Mary? What if we was trying to find like, you know, our general time frame and like age of this person that was hit? Because like maybe it was something where she liked the name Mary. I don't know.
Or maybe they didn't even know her name and they were just like, let's just
they assumed
tell her. Yeah. Maybe her name was something like Margaret or Marin. I don't know.
That's a good point though. Especially like if you're
she might not even really be a Mary.
That seems like a very plausible explanation for me, because the rest of this is just like bonker bananas.
I feel like they're focusing too much on the name itself than who it could have been.
Yeah.
Finding that description, trying to find the exact moment, finding like people and like not people anymore, but like people who, or like documents that could show who this person could have been.
Because I'm all for that. You know, my history loving ass is 100%. Like, I'm curious who this person actually was. So that way you could learn more about them. See if you could help in any way as well.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's like kind of convoluted story on Resurrection Mary. Look it up if y'all want. It's there's so many goddamn versions. There's too many.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It's been almost 100 years of people seeing her, so I'm like, of course there's going to be a bunch of different variations of what's happened or what's happening.
What gets me the most, though, is just the fact, like, if they see her on a cold night walking along the road and she's just in that dress and she's not shivering. Spooky.
Can't handle that power. Too much power.
Too much power. Agreed. What'd you think of
that? Was a good story. I'm gonna think about her forever.
Right. Sorry that was shorter. It's hard.
No, it was good. I'm glad that you'd share that story.
Thank you.
There's a lot to talk about too, because we're like, well, that's interesting. Like okay. I don't know how to explain things after we talked about it, so. Summarizing.
I mean, I'm also wondering if it's like given a era, let's say this gal did die in either the late 20s or early 30s. Let's say she had like brown hair. Maybe when she's dead, she's like, no, I want blonde hair because unfortunately that is a societal standard that I wish I could have been. Maybe. I don't know.
Can you do that? If I was a ghost, I would change my hair all the time.
See?
As a human that's not a ghost right now.
You're ahead of the game.
I'm always changing my hair.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
I'm like, it's the perfect time to be wearing this wig to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I would do this all the time. Long, short, brown, blonde, red.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
So, paranormal hitchhikers.
Paranormal hitchhikers.
Spooky.
Oh, how I wish to one day pick up my future ghost partner.
Good.
Anyways, do you want to take a break really quick?
Yeah, say break. We will be right back.
Yeah.
All right, we're
serious?
Back. Yes,
Welcome.
I am serious.
Oh, no, not you. I just saw this thing that said these mummies are being exposed to open air for the first time in 2,500 years.
Nope.
Egyptian officials announced the discovery of at least 100 ancient coffins.
What?
I'm like, why are you opening these? Why can't they be left alone?
Y'all! Can we get a little spritz bottle for archaeologists?
Right? I'm just like, can they stop? We have an episode about why you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. Guys, technology has come far enough that you can literally CT scan it. Y'all.
Right? I'm like, you don't need it's pretty much like people just grave robbing these people now.
Oh, entirely. Yeah.
This is all it's about, is like, I just want to steal what they were buried with, because they were buried with like things that were important to them.
Yeah, stepped up and then the next slide.
Right? I hate people. You want to talk about people I also hate?
I am worried, but excited, but mostly worried.
No,
but also excited.
Yeah. I'm like, I hate serial killers and people who murder. So you want to hear?
Oh boy, are you going to tell me about a serial killer or people that murder?
You want to hear a story about people who murder?
Oh wow, golly gee whiz, people that murder?
Who would have thought I'd do a story about people who murder?
Oh my god. Give me some hints. I miss our guessing game. That's so fun. Or only us, not the listeners. Would I know
it? Goes with no, because I didn't know the story at all, and I was like, and it's a very short story, because like you're like, wait a minute, there's so much, but not enough information. I'm like, oh,
I get that.
It would fit in the theme of what I think November and Thanksgiving should be about, which is,
women loving women, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's my hint, is that lesbians. Not truly it's like women loving women.
Are women loving women doing the killing or being killed? I'm worried.
Would I do a story on women loving women being murdered right now? After this month I started with Lizzie, this is about them murdering people.
Boo! Okay, I'll take it.
I'm like, they're not the greatest either, though. But like,
at least Lizzie was a good-ish person and donated to animal shelters.
Right? This one just has a narcissist and a lesbian in it.
Where does our story take place, friend?
Takes place in Michigan.
Michigan. What era are we in, friend?
The 80s.
Yeah, bitch.
It just pretty much happened in 1987, just like for like in January and February of it.
Oh, short.
Very short. Killing spree, because it was happening in a nursing home.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. That's why I'm all like, we don't like these. But it fits in my theme for this month. Got lesbians. That's my theme for November. It's lesbians.
They're lesbians, Harold. Harold, they're lesbians.
But like, they might not all be lesbians. I think one's bisexual. They were called the Lethal Lovers at some point in their time.
Oh, that is a pretty badass name, I will say,
right?
Unfortunately.
Like,
damn it!
Move aside, Bonnie and Clyde. Like, you want to be Lethal Lovers. But
that's
like,
good.
yeah, it's still sad though, because we have Gwen Graham and Catherine Wood. They were American serial killers who had been convicted for killing 5 elderly women in Walker, Michigan.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is like in the suburbs of Grand Rapids. And they both worked at the nursing home as aides. Just how they, it's sad. So, let's see. I was like reading a bit earlier about how, can't remember which one it was. Let me double check. Oh no, I have too many tabs open. Too many things going on.
Mute my separate fan fiction window. It's all y'all pedal right now.
Oof.
All unfinished.
Going down a rabbit hole.
Hasn't been updated since 2015. And what sucked is that it's enough chapters in that you get invested. Like 7 chapters and then done. I'm like, oh, I want to die.
That is the saddest thing. I have like things about like, what's another word for this word? English translations for lyrics. Looking up tiles to redo my whole condo. Demisexuality.
If that ain't ADHD, I don't know what is.
Stuff about Ted Bundy. Etsy pages. Cat litter box systems. Fan fictions I've already read 20 times.
Do you guys feel closer to us?
Oops. Don't want this fan fiction. Writers that I've read all their stories at least 3 times. My birth chart. Where was that freaking article? I lost it.
What was that meme that like God sprinkling your ingredients? That was your ingredients.
With the waters. That's all of those things make me.
I love that so much. Oh my God.
And I think I think it was Cathy Woods. Let me double check. Who like one of these ladies was married and the husband was like, you should get a job outside and like get out of the house because like she had a kid and she was like not happy. She was just having like the
postpartum depression, I think.
Postpartum depression. And they were like, her husband was like, you should get out of the house, work somewhere, just have a little break from everything.
Makes sense.
Trying to figure out which one it was. Because I don't want to get it wrong. And I don't want to go too deep into all of this before, but I should have done this earlier.
If that ain't the mood, I don't know what is.
Like I did do this earlier. I did have an article up, and I'm like, where did it go?
I understand. You saw me struggle with audio MIDI bullshit. 10 minutes.
But okay, it was Woods. Okay, Cathy Woods was the one with the ex-husband. He's all like, at the time when they got married, like. She was 17 and pregnant, and she's just like, I got pregnant so I could get out of my household. And then they found out she was also a narcissist. And I was like, that's cool. Interesting. Don't fuck with that. But, interesting. So like she started working there, met a bunch of lesbians, and I'm like, the dream, honestly.
Are all lesbians working at nursing homes?
Apparently, back in the 80s.
Back in the 80s, okay.
That's what I would have done, I guess. Like the
equivalent of being a pirate in the 1700s.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
You get to be a lesbian and working as a nursing aide in Michigan instead. Okay. Nowadays, it's just like you're just the quirky barista at a.
It has truly moved to coffee shops, yeah.
Yeah.
Only gays work at coffee shops.
It's true.
We know because we worked at coffee shops.
That's where we used to work. And 99% of us were... Well, no, I think almost every single person when we worked there was queer in some sort of way.
Yes, agreed. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Bonkers. They all fit in that umbrella in some way. So it was pretty cool. Anyway, so we have Gwen Graham and Cathy Woods meeting at the Alpine Manor nursing home shortly after Graham had moved to Michigan from Texas. Mm-hmm. And they quickly became friends, and then they became lovers in 1986. And then 2 years later, they were both facing those murder charges because they apparently smothered the 5 elderly people as part of a love bond. I'll give you this moment of silence to really settle and take in that information.
I need you to back up about 15 steps there, bud, because what the fuck?
You know those Mandiri characters? I will kill for you. I will kill everyone for you. And then you're kind of like, I'm stuck with this guilt of this crazy person killing for me.
That's why you quote Prince and you'd say, I die for you.
And then they're like, then die. Then perish.
Perish.
And like that Obama meme. We're going back to those Tumblr days now.
Oh, we're regressing hard, guys.
I'm like, I feel like our podcast is mostly for like people who are really, really into anime and true crime.
Which seems like a very small...
very, very small niche.
Oh, we are very niche. We can at least say that. I feel like that's accurate. Oofda.
I'm like, do I have to bring up Homestuck to really know where our little...
Get out of my house.
Is?
Get out of my house.
I'm always in your house. I'm always in your house.
Tell me about lesbians. No more Homestuck.
No Homestuck, only lesbians.
No Homestuck, only lesbians. There's a title. I like that.
Other people would be like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Everyone at us constantly. What the fuck are they talking about?
So apparently, pretty much most of the details from the murder came just from the accounts to the criminal justice authorities by Cathy Woods, you know, a narcissist who's pretty much going to be like a pathological liar at this point in their life.
Yes, you were right.
So, like, So because she gave all the details, or pretty much almost all the details to it, she was given a reduced sentence. Yeah. So that she could pretty much, like, her charges were reduced by a plea agreement so she could testify against Graham in the trial for first-degree murder. But because of her account and her self-betrayal as Graham's pawn were later brought into serious questions in a book that was written, like, in 92, like, people are like, are we really sure that this is exactly how it should have been? But
fair point.
Yeah, because according to Woods, in January of 1987, Graham entered the room of a woman who had Alzheimer's disease and smothered her with a washcloth as Wood acted as her lookout. Then the woman was too incapacitated? Incapacitated, yeah. Incapacitated?
Fuck.
Words are hard. English isn't my first language. I don't remember Spanish, but it's not my first language.
We have a podcast.
We have a podcast for some reason, but we both have speech impediments.
Went to speech therapy as a child. Still struggle. Hello.
Me too. In New York, I went to speech therapy.
I had a little lisp. Couldn't say my through my teeth.
I couldn't speak. They were like, is this trauma? Is this autism? We just don't know.
Because of my crippling OCD, they're also like, is this autism? We don't know because we're bad at diagnosing because it's a girl. Yeah.
Exactly. We just don't know. To this day, I'm like, am I autistic? We just won't know because I'm not going to go see a doctor. It's not happening.
Life spectrum.
So wide.
Fuck Autism Speaks. Thank you. And
yes, fuck them.
Fuck
them. Okay. So, the woman was too incapacitated. Did I say it right? Okay. Mm-hmm. She was too incapacitated. Whatever. She wasn't able to fight back. And thus became the pair's first victim. And her death had appeared to be natural, so an autopsy wasn't performed.
Oh, gotcha.
An elderly woman. And so then Wood claimed that Graham murdered the patient to relieve her tension. And then each felt that the secret of the murder would prevent the other from leaving, thus cementing their bond. Have you ever been with someone who just terrified you? And they do something so ridiculous, so destructive, and you're like, how am I supposed to handle having this knowledge of what you just did without leave the situation?
Hello, this is an audio show and I have nothing to say. Because what the fuck?
Right? I haven't watched an anime with a yandere character in it. Because I was just like, don't care too much about the crazy girls.
Don't watch Future Diary.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking about. But I was like, because I watched the first episode of that, and I was like, this looks really cool and interesting, but I know that girl's gonna go crazy, and I don't care too much about that.
We got another gay boy with white hair that dies.
The most heartbreaking thing. They always die. I've been getting back into anime recently. But mostly through video games that have anime adaptations to it, and then me being a little like, oh, I missed that video game so much. I should watch the anime so I don't have to play 800 hours of a video game. What are you thinking?
Alba. Who the fuck is Alba from?
No!
Sonic Mullet.
No!
It's not Diabolical Lovers. What the fuck is it? It's not Juju Romantica. What is it? Fuck, what is it? I am struggling. Please tell me for my own sanity. Dramatical Murder!
No! I would never.
Guys, we's talking about Dramatical Murder.
No! I was talking about Danganronpa. No! Don't make me think about Dramatical Murder.
Better than Boku no Pico.
Oh, but the game is not. Oh, wait.
Where were we?
No, the Boku no Pico is always downhill. You know that it's always going to be downhill. Dramatical Murder, if you don't have any idea what you're getting into, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. This is my best friend. No! This is my dog. No! I hate Dramatical Murder!
These are the moments I live for because I forget them. Whilst very tipsy. Fuck. Whilst
Dramatical Murder so much.
And then a week later I'm listening, I'm like, oh, I love being friends with V because it's so much fun.
I played through all of those stupid endings and I'm like, why did I do this to myself? And then there was a sequel that wasn't really gameplay and I was like, why do I hate myself so much? It wasn't even really a sequel. It was more like an add-on. I hate it. No. I was talking about Danganronpa.
I like to think that the people that we are a niche for hopefully really enjoy us because they're getting what we're saying. And
if you've never played Dramatical Murder, never play it. Never play it. It's a visual novel game that has a murder mystery kind of, not truly murder mystery, but it's like a mystery to it. But don't play the game because there's a lot of triggering things in it, a lot of non-consensual sexual things in it.
Don't watch the anime either.
I've never finished that anime. I don't even think I started the first episode of that anime.
The animation was so fucking bad.
And like I don't know if the animation was just bad because like of when they were releasing it and then they finally like fixed it up afterwards to like package it out and send it and ship it off to people.
Oh, maybe.
Because that always happens with animes. Like they will have like a shitty quality when they're releasing it, and then when they are done with that, then they like fix it up afterwards. But anyways, no, not even going into that now.
You should watch My Hero Academia.
No, I give up on anime now that I've thought of Dramatical Murder because no, I can't do this to myself.
I've cleansed your palate. You're welcome.
No.
Come back to Pike Hill, please.
No. I was like just gonna be like, hey,
I love Yaoi Pedal.
Stop it.
Yaoi Pedal. I love Yaoi Pedal.
Stop it. I was going to talk about Danganronpa because it's a murder mystery game where it's pretty much like playing like Among Us, but like in a classroom and with no one else playing with you. Because it's a first-person game. And like, and it's just a really fun, interesting game, but it's like, I don't know. How dare you do this to me? How dare you make me think of Dramatical Murder while we're recording?
I apologize for the existence of Dramatical Murder.
I will find the people who've made that game. Take Clear from them because Clear is a good boy.
Clear was the only good boy. Clear was the only good one.
He was the only good one. My little robot boy. Like, I love that robot more than anything else. I'm going to take him.
You love robots.
That's another tangent we don't need to go down.
Where were we?
We were talking about yandere characters and how I was like, oh, I want to get back into anime because of video games because Danganronpa made me like, I should rewatch that and then watch some other animes. And then you brought up Dramatical Murder and now I do not like anime.
Did you guys see how that happened? Crazy, huh? To Future Kate. I'm sort of sorry, but this was also very funny. So, yeah.
I am so emotional right now. I just want to talk about this real life murder instead of dramatical murder.
Tell me about this real life murder. That's terrible.
It is terrible. But there's no dog involved, I think. No.
That's good. That's a plus.
So they pretty much were like, because of this secret, they can't leave each other. They're cemented together. Their bond is stronger than ever because there's guilt and murder and blood on them now. And so then over the next few months, Graham had apparently murdered 4 more patients at the Alpine Manor, which is what Woods was saying. And so these victims ranged from the age of 65 to 97, and they were all incapacitated and suffered from Alzheimer's disease.
Oh.
Yeah, so they didn't even really know, or they didn't stand a chance, like, against someone who's supposed to be taking care of them, doing this to them. Like, my biggest fear growing old and, like, having someone do that to me.
Oh, 100%.
Like, it's terrifying.
My ghost is going to be so fucking pissed if that happens.
Me too.
Do you want to, like, dually haunt something?
Yeah, what do you want to haunt? Like a Pizza Hut?
I'll get back to you.
I really want Pizza Hut right now. Pizza Hut, hit me up.
Hello, Pizzas. Can you sponsor us, please?
Please. I live next to a Domino's, and I don't want to go to Domino's right now.
No Domino's.
No.
Bless your heart.
Thank you. I spit on myself. Anyways, So, Woods, she testified that the couple had chosen the selection of victims and turned it into a game in a way, because they're first trying to choose their victims by their initials to spell out murder. I love all these awkward pauses. People are just like, what are they doing? What is Kate's expression right now? The way that she just was sipping her drink, and now she's just looking so off into the distance, regretting everything about the story. Should we go back to talking about Dramatical Murder and how much I hate every single character in that freaking game except for Clear? Only good boy Clear.
I'm tempted, but I just
only
can't
in the
get
good
over
ending, though, I think.
the spelling.
Murder.
Murder. Not even red rum. Red rum.
Well, I don't think that they like just went with. Do they? No, I don't think they would have won for like M and then U and then R. I think they were just trying to like find initials that like would fit within that.
Oh, that's just lazy.
But still, they found that difficult though, because then they began counting each murder as a day as in the phrase, "I will love you for forever and a day."
Okay, so you know how lesbians are like extra romantic? This is the worst fucking side of it.
This is the worst part of it. Yeah.
This is
Go back to being a U-Haul lesbian trope, then do this.
This is the bad place lesbians. I didn't want yandere lesbians. I want tsundere lesbians.
Me!
You. Truly you.
It's me.
Truly you.
I will only be soft for ghosts. And no real human alive will I be soft for.
Attention, all humans that are alive.
And real.
You guys gotta stay out of these DMs. Only the ghosts can hit her up. Just saying.
Gotta light some candles for just my ghost girls.
Oh, I did not eat enough. Having fun. This is only 8% vote, buddy.
I'm like, I can't remember what I ate. I don't know if I ate.
Future Kate is suffering.
Please eat and drink and hydrate and don't drink alcohol. Or
don't
drink responsibly, at least.
Don't be us.
Don't be us.
We're not role models. No,
we have really bad attention spans and we don't know what we're doing half the time.
I'm like, hey, let's start a podcast because that's a good idea. All right, yandere lesbians, unfortunately. I'm ready.
Sadly.
Oof.
So, a poem by Wood to Graham. Excuse me, TikTok. So that was so there was a poem by Wood that was for Graham that was introduced into the trial. It concluded, "You'll be mine forever and 5 days." And then Wood also testified that Graham took souvenirs from the victims, keeping them to relive the deaths. However, no such souvenirs were ever discovered by the police. And then Wood also portrayed Graham as being sexually, physically, and emotionally dominant in their relationship. Just because you're dominant doesn't mean that you're not a murderer. Just because you're not dominant doesn't mean that you're not a murderer.
Okay, so it sounds like this lying narcissist possibly lied about their role in the murders. Just saying.
I'm like, they're giving a lot of details of being like, yo, I did nothing. This crazy one is doing all this
baby
things. Yeah, I'm baby. I'm never murdered.
Baby. Never done anything wrong my entire life. Oof.
It's that. Have you seen those TikToks with corpse husband's song on it? It's like, I can't do the deep voice. He's like, I can't remember the lyrics to it right now. It's like, choke me if you. Oops.
Got a weird deja vu. Oof.
Let me look up the lyrics so I could do this correctly for you. I think it was Cat Girls. are ruining my life.
Ain't that always true?
Nope, that's a different song. Which one is it? E-Girls? It's the E-Girls are ruining my life.
Oh, I wish it was
E-Girls. He also has a song called Cat Girls are ruining my life. I was like, choke me like you hate me, but you love me. Low-key want to date me when you fuck me. And there's like this, like the TikTok rendition. I was like, choke me like you hate me, but you love me. Low-key want to date me when you fuck me.
I'm glad I had this recorded forever.
But yeah, that's gonna be my song recommendation. Is "E-Girls Are Ruining My Life" by Corpse, because I love Corpse. He's such a good gamer, and I love his voice, and he makes me feel like I'm in a blanket. He wraps me up in a blanket and keeps me comfortable. Anyways, where was I?
I don't know.
Who am I?
Both of us. These are short stories.
These are very short stories. Oof. But it's great because it gives us enough time to be on tangents and to like let you see how it is in our minds. Oopsies.
I apologize.
I don't. Don't watch Dramatical Murder. Don't play the game. Don't play the game. Do not play the game.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey. Where was I? So obviously, the two ladies, they broke up.
Wow, what a whirlwind romance.
Yeah. They eventually broke up when Graham began dating another female nursing aide who also worked at Alpine Manor. So Graham then moved to Texas with the woman and began to work in a hospital taking care of infants. So it's like, you know, as lesbians do, they date around in the same dating pool. And so everyone knows each other's exes and stuff, you know, as one does. Sometimes you're even friends and you hang out with your exes every week. So who knows, you know.
Cheers!
Cheers! Clink, 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 clink. But it's just a thing that we do. I don't know why.
It's because we are cool beans.
I'm like, the amount of girls that I've been like, yeah, like, I almost dated you, but, like, I'm also flirting with your best friend. Like, it's just really... It's like, instead of a Venn diagram, it's just a circle of like girls as friends and girls I'm flirting with. It's literally a circle most of the time. It's just a circle. I'm like, wow. Are we really?
Moon.
It's the moon. I'm like, are we just friends or are we all flirting together all the time? Because I'm like 97% of the chance, 97% sure that I'm like always about to be in a relationship with someone, and I'm like, no.
It's true. Here for the wild ride. Wow.
Yeah. And then you and Alex are always like, you're part of you're our third. Like, you can't be dating these people.
We're in a throuple.
Yeah. It's true. I have 2 girlfriends. Like, why am I looking for another?
Boom.
Anyways, where am I? So the murder investigation. It began, my phone. It began in 1988 after Wood's ex-husband, whom she told about the murders, went to the police. So the detectives for the Walker Police Department extensively questioned Cathy Woods in a series of interviews. She incrementally leaked out her version of the homicide.
Homo-cide.
Homo-cide. Of the homicide. Portraying Graham as the mastermind and hands-on killer. But the investigation led to the exhumation. They exhumed the bodies of 2 nursing home victims who had not been cremated. But when the medical examination failed to reveal physical evidence of homicide, not entirely unusual in a smothering case, the county medical examiners nevertheless ruled the death as homicides, basing it on the interviews that Wood had given to the police. And then warrants were issued for the arrest of Wood and Graham. So on December 4th and 5th of 1988, they were arrested and charged with 2 murders. Wood was apprehended in Walker, and Graham was in Tyler, Texas. And so during the trial, Wood, she had that plea bargained her way into a reduced sentence, claiming it was Graham who planned and carried out the killings, while she served as a lookout or distracted supervisors. And then Graham maintained her innocence, testifying that the alleged murders were part of an elaborate mind game by Wood. And so despite the lack of physical evidence, the jury ultimately was swayed by the testimony of Graham's new girlfriend, who revealed that Graham had confessed to 5 killings.
Ah!
And, like...
New challenger approaches.
Like, that's the thing, like, when you're talking to a girl, you tell her too much stuff, and you're like, you don't need to know all that. Like, why do you know why do you know all my traumas? Like, you shouldn't know that. Like, that we're gonna stop talking in like 3 months. I'm gonna date your best friend. You shouldn't know all this information. Am I talking about like experience when I was like 23 or 24? Who fucking knows? We dated when I was 24.
20, yeah, I think 24. Yeah.
4 years ago. That's weird. Because you've been with Alex for 3 years.
Yes. Yeah, it's a little over 3 years. March, April, May, June,
we broke
July.
up.
Wait, so March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Whoa. Over 3.5 years. When did that happen?
3.5 years ago.
I can't handle the passage of time. Did you know that?
Me neither. We're not going to have this existential crisis right now, though.
Later.
So, on November 3rd, 1989, Graham was found guilty on 5 counts of murder and 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder. And so the court gave her 5 life sentences, and she's housed in the Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility in Pittsfield Charter Township, Michigan. And then Wood was charged with 1 count of second-degree murder and 1 count of conspiracy to commit second-degree murder. She was sentenced to 20 years on each count and was eligible for parole since March 2nd, 2005. Wood was incarcerated in the minimum security federal correction institution in Tallahassee, Florida. And she was released January 16th, 2020, and expected to live with residents in South Carolina. So, there was a book that was written by Lowell Caulfield, which had like friends, coworkers, family members, and others who knew Graham and Wood that told a completely different story than the one that like Wood spun out. They described Wood as both a coercive coercive. I think so. Yeah. My throat is so dry.
It's the talking.
It's me crying about Dramatical Murder, because before Dramatical Murder, I was not like this. So, they described Wood as both a coercive and seductive pathological liar who delighted in wreaking havoc in the lives of others. So, in the book Forever in 5 Days, it presents evidence that Wood had planned the first murder after she found Graham with another woman. She involved Graham as an insurance policy to keep her from ever leaving her. And yet, when Graham left her anyways after the series of alleged killings, Wood was willing to put herself in legal jeopardy by disclosing to police to exact her revenge. The book portrays Wood as a psychopathic criminal mastermind who manipulated the prosecutor and the jury to punish Graham. And then psychological testing also revealed that Graham could be easily manipulated because she suffered from borderline personality disorder and lacked the sophistication to plan the series of killings, which let alone adequately defend herself in her trial. So Wood, in the book, the book reveals that Wood had later told inmates 2 other versions of events. The first, that she had made the entire story up to put Graham away for life for leaving her for another woman. And the second, that she had done all the killings but framed Graham, also just for revenge. So, like, several of the families of the murdered victims had sued the owners of the Alpine Manor for hiring dangerous and unbalanced employees. And so they've gone out of business, and the building now houses a nursing home called Sanctuary at St. Mary's. A little coming around with the Marys.
You know how we've gone full circle twice, maybe 3 times if you count Dramatical Murder?
Let's not count Dramatical Murder to anything.
Dramatical Homo-cide.
It's so good. It's such a good... Like, I love the art in Dramatical Murder, and I'm like, I hate...
Unfortunate.
I hate... Like, there's actual, like, real tears in my eyes that I'm trying, like, so hard to, like, hold back from thinking about Dramatical Murder.
Guys, do you see what we go through?
I've played that game, so you don't have to.
You walk so we could run.
Find better visual novel games. I promise there's something out there, maybe. Clear was the only good boy.
Mm-hmm.
I think only in the good ending, too. I don't remember his bad ending. I don't want to think about bad endings. They were all terrible.
They were all real rough there, bud.
Yeah. So, there has been some, I wouldn't say kind of like homage to the actual murders, like that was been in media.
Oh, really?
Past, like, we had the true crime book that was written in 92. That was Forever in 5 Days. They also were, Graham and Wood were featured in 2 episodes of the TV series, The Serial Killers, in which they were interviewed about their relationship and crimes, and they were also featured on an episode of Snapped, Killer Couples. And then apparently, in American Horror Stories, they told a highly fictionalized version of their stories in its 6th season, Roanoke. But the duo were depicted as sisters instead.
Okay, when you were telling me about the murder, all I could fucking think about was season 6 Roanoke, but I didn't want to say anything because I couldn't remember if you'd seen it or not.
I don't watch TV. I've only watched the first 2 seasons. And
the 6th was actually pretty good. I liked it personally because I like ghost shows.
Was 6 after Hotel?
Yeah. It was after Hotel. Cause it was, Hotel was 5.
Hotel was 5. Okay, so I've seen 1, 2, and half of 5 because, like, when 5 was coming out, I was with my ex-fiance, and we would go hang out with her best friend and her best friend's husband and watch. I was gonna say Animal Crossing, American Horror Story.
Wait, so you haven't seen 3? 3's the best one. That's Coven.
Yeah, I've tried to start it because I really love.
I think you'd like Coven. Coven is really good.
I really love the concept of it, and I want to know, like, how everything I want to know more about that universe, but, like, attention span. Where are you?
Don't know her.
Okay,
good to know that was
it was based off of these 2.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the sisters were based off of these 2 girls. And then Cathy Wood's daughter was called in the Howard Stern show in 2019 during the news and discussed her mother's story because her mom was actually up for parole at that time. and like the victims were trying to the victims' families were trying to appeal her parole. And like they talked for a while, and then on September 26, 2020, there was an episode on Oxygen's License to Kill, which was called A Match Made in Hell, which took an in-depth look at that case as well. But yeah, that is my story of these two ladies, the lethal lovers, Gwendolyn Graham and Cathy Wood.
Woo!
I had my rendition of the don't watch Boku no Pico, but instead of Boku no Pico, it's like, don't play Dramatical Murder instead.
God, I need to find that video and send it to the chat so we can all suffer together. Yo, don't fucking watch Boku no Pico. Do not open this file.
That is the worst thing that's ever. One of the worst. My 2010s have been tormented.
Your 2010s are repressed, bud.
Oh, yes. Anyways,
hope
you enjoyed.
That was such a good story.
Thank you. Do you have any parting words for today?
It's never going to be Boku yes Pico. It is forever Boku no Pico. No Pico. No Pico. I need to find a song.
Mine is
any words of advice.
Mine is just don't play Dramatical Murder. Don't play Dramatical Murder. It's not worth it. Maybe don't even watch it. Don't let it exist anymore. Let it just not be in your brain. Repress it like I try to every day.
Exactly. Get on V's level, guys. I think my song request will be Crush by Tessa Violet.
Oh, I love Tessa. I remember watching.
That one's a good song.
I remember watching her YouTube channel like forever ago. She's so cute. She's so precious.
I love that. Oh my god.
She seems like such a sweet person. I love her. Mine, like I said, is gonna be E-Girls Are Ruining My Life by Corpse. You don't watch any kind of like YouTube or Twitch gaming stuff, do you?
When I watch YouTube, I watch either psychic interviews with dead celebrities or people making like very intricate miniatures for their very intricate doll houses.
Ooh.
They like make it like they make everything. It's bonkers.
Would you ever be interested in starting a Twitch channel where we play video games and you just react as I play them?
Yes! I have the Tipsy Mysteries handle on Twitch.
It's true. So we could definitely do that because I am very much into video game Let's Plays and like VODs off Twitch, and I just want to play games, and it makes me want to watch animes, but not Dramatical Murder.
Oh, I'd annoy you so fast. I love it. Be like, V, what's happening? What are you doing? Where'd that come from? What's this? What's going on? Where am I? Who am I? Who are you? We should
totally play like all of Kingdom Hearts because I know that Alex would enjoy that. And like if we have the time, I could probably beat those games like same day because I used to play them and like beat them the same day that I like started the game.
It's probably muscle memory at this point.
Might be. It might be just button smashing too.
Boom. Would you guys enjoy that? That'd be fun. Let's do that.
And we can play scary games too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like this.
And dating games.
Boom.
Yeah.
Play, Dream Daddy. Let's play Dream Daddy.
I want to play Dream Daddy so badly. And then there's also there's this one like multiplayer dating game.
Monster Prom?
Yeah. I used to watch Jesse Cox videos on YouTube all the time, and like he helped like build and create that game or something. He like produced that game or something. He's like a voice actor in it too. Oh, nice. And I love that game. I want it so badly, but I'm like, who would I play this game with? I don't want to play it by myself all the time, but I also want to date.
2 girlfriends apparently.
Yeah, I have 2 girlfriends to play this game with. So
yeah, to play a dating game. There we go.
Yeah, you gotta date monsters, and like I think that's all of our dreams.
Literally all of our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Dream.
Anyways,
thank you guys for listening. If you want to get in contact or follow us for fun shenanigans, you can find us at tipsymysteries@gmail.com. You can find us at Tipsy Mysteries on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yeah.
Or stress depressed lemon zest.
Oh, that's me. Did you feel the stress when I said me?
We're doing great.
We're doing great.
I need to go pee and eat some food because
I need food too.
Boyo. We will talk to you guys later. Have a good time wherever you are. Jazzy, I love you. Stay so cool, bud.
Have fun. Bye.
Bye.